Welcome back to a new video. So this video is going to have two main parts, and I'm not going to be looking at the clips themselves, but I'm going to start out with a overview of this workout and then talk about some changes to the programming. So as far as the overview of the workout, I started out with some snatch doubles. I was able to work up to 110 for two doubles and did some volume on the sets working up. Generally happy with how the snatch workout went. I was pleasantly surprised I was able to get up to this weight. I didn't really feel that great coming into this workout, but I was able to still work hard nevertheless. But doing the two doubles at 110, even though I missed on the first set, so I really attempted 3 sets, but was only successful on 2 of them. And I don't think I had any other misses with that, but I guess you'll see with the 2 doubles with that. For clean and jerks, I took a pretty big jump. I went from 102 to 140, and I was doing clean front squat jerk, and I tried the 140 1 plus 1 plus 1 twice, and the jerks were just not done well enough. They were close, but my arms were all bent and everything, and they were just not made. So that stinks. But then on the third set, I decided to get more hyped up. I did 2 front squats for whatever reason. So I did a 1 plus 2 plus 1, and I was able to make the jerk. I don't know what changed on the third set. Sometimes you just get more hyped up and it works, but I would like to get better at that movement and just have, like for the snatches, the doubles at 110 be a good weight to where if I'm going to do some heavy snatch doubles today, I'm able to work up to that. So I'm happy with where that's at. But as I get back into doing complexes with the clean jerk, maybe a little bit more, see how like clean front squat jerks feel, because I think that's a pretty good movement for me to really test my jerk, because it fatigues my legs a lot, because obviously my legs are quite weak. But that's kind of the overview of the workout. I don't think I did anything after that, because that was a lot of work to do. But the other big change is the fact that I'm not going to be doing the AI for probably a while. If you saw my last community post, I kind of mentioned some of the reasons with it, but I'll dive into those in here as well. So when they had their big update, I was kind of excited for it because it seemed like a nice update as far as how the programming would work and everything, but the app became a little bit too buggy and annoying to navigate. And with one of the issues, well, besides that, so like the actual interface just wasn't working as well. But then I was given a deload week, which is fine, but then I was giving a second deload week after that first deload week. And then I was sitting there, I think this was on Monday. I was sitting there just like, well, how can I make this workout seem like, and I was like, then I stopped because the interface wasn't working. And then I stopped because I was thinking about the program. I'm like, why am I thinking about how to fix the program when I'm paying for an app that should be, giving me the programming and then I can make adjustments? But I was thinking of like how I could change like the whole deload week. I'm like, I shouldn't have to fix a deload week. Like it shouldn't give me 2 deload weeks in a row. So I was already like annoyed with that. And I think I was just kind of in a grumpy mood anyway. So then that kind of exacerbated it when you're trying to figure out what you want to do in the week or how to change things, and then the app keeps not functioning properly. And when I say that, it isn't like there's any sort of like catastrophic error with it. It's a lot of like the drop down with the month thing would just kind of freeze with the, or not really freeze, but just become buggy with the exercise. And it's still usable, like you can still navigate around it. It's not that difficult. And if you're just on one workout or one exercise, it's not that bad. But when you're paying $40 a month, you want it to function well. And some of that is sometimes, my hand gets sweaty and it's a touch screen and things like that. But I would have that issue if I'm sitting in my bedroom like I am now messing with it and when I'm training. So it wasn't really related to maybe my hands are sweaty or they have chalk or the screen has moisture on it or whatever it happens to be. It was just a functionality of the app. And so I technically still have the app till I think the beginning of September, but I decided to stop on that day. So I just did a normal this workout that I did on this day. But I also wanted to see what would happen if I just made another program that would go until November, when I'm planning on potentially competing. And it fixed some of the issues, but then I was like looking at the workouts, I'm like, I also shouldn't have to make a new program to fix a problem with a program that I'm on. It should just kind of be working as far as the basics. And I understand like they'll probably fix it in the future, but I'm not as worried about trying to navigate through that, because I'm also starting the new school year, and so I already knew that I was probably going to have to make pretty large adjustments, at least initially, probably in the first month of the year, because my legs are just going to be feeling different because I'm going to be, at a minimum standing for, 5-6 hours a day, but you also have to count in, walking around and the occasional jog or run throughout the day. So I'm going to be just more tired initially until I'm adapted to, being back at work and, teaching all the time. So that is already an adjustment that I was going to make. And I was like, well, I have to figure out the adjustment of going back to work. I have to figure out how that get the app to work. I have to figure out the program. I'm like, I can just write my own, because like at that point, and I was like, I might as well just do my own stuff and use the ideas of the AI. So I want to have stuff in there like the snatch doubles and complexes and no hook, no feet. Like I still want to have those in and still do volume. Sorry if you hear Bo in the background. He is adjusting himself by being as loud as possible by scratching his feet on the floor. But at least for now, I'm not worried about doing the app. Unfortunately, with the update, it just wasn't functioning as well as I would have liked. And I like to think that, as I have gone through the app, the couple of times I've been pretty honest about, the positive and negatives. And there is still a lot of positives with it. So if there is someone that is like currently using it, I don't think that like the actual programming itself is bad. I just think that when there's errors and stuff, I just don't really want to try to navigate that through myself. But there is ways, and like if you went to the community that they have and like talked about the issues that you had and were able to get fixes through theirs. But I just don't really want to go through that process because I just want to pay for the program. I want it to work, and then I want to be able to make adjustments to it as I go. I don't want to have to do the whole thing myself, because at that point, like I said, I'll just write my own stuff and go through my own program and my own training sessions, and not worry about that, and save $40 a month. But I know for a lot of people it is kind of useful, and I think for probably people that are newer to just going through any sort of programming, it's probably a good thing to be on, whether it's AI or any other program, just to see the general trends of how things move through a program, because then you start to understand patterns and understand how to navigate things and how you respond to different training sessions and how to adapt things. So then you're able to program better for yourself, or even at a minimum, just make adjustments for yourself, because with any program, you have to make adjustments. So I'm going to be going back to my own stuff. I still plan on trying to compete on that. It's like November 3rd or 4th. That's kind of the plan there. So I want to be able to get to the point where I can open at like a 123 snatch and something like a 158 clean and jerk. So I'm still building towards that, and I'm still making progress towards that. So it's not as if I've been injured or anything. I know my uploads have slowed down this week, and that isn't related to the app. That's just with the school year starting, trying to get a lot more sleep and focus on that, and not trying to make sure that I have a video out every day. But now that it's weekend, I should be able to get caught up on videos. So there should be, I would say, 3 or 4 at a minimum, like during the normal work week. And then obviously, there would be 1 or 2 on the weekend. Ideally, I'd get to the point where there's a video every day, but a lot of that depends on if I have a full training session every day. Some days I might have like that bodybuilding thing I've talked about, where I just do a lot of band work and just a lot of recovery work on a certain day. I'm not going to sit there and make a video, showing all that, because I don't think that's very interesting. But like, that's a day where I wouldn't have a video on. So there may not necessarily be one every day, but it is what it is. But that's part of the reason why the AI itself isn't why there was that little dip in a couple days of videos, but that's more related to school than anything, because there was going to be a drop off, I knew anyway. But I should be able to get caught up here. I'm gonna spend the weekend getting caught up on editing and making videos and whatnot. But yeah, hopefully that makes sense. If you do have questions about anything or any feedback, and just in general, you can obviously leave that in the comments. I'm pretty good at responding to darn near every comment that I get, because I don't get a whole ton, but I certainly have gotten more as my channel's grown, which I always do appreciate. But that's it for this one. At the risk of being too rambly and making this video longer than 10 minutes and having 8 minutes of blank space at the end, I'm going to go ahead and end this now. Hope you all have a great day, and I'll talk to you all in the next one. Peace.